Electronics, and I'm Nick, and on this episode we'll be taking a look at the Adafruit 16x2 LCD for the Raspberry Pi. So let's get to it. The products that are featured in this video can be purchased from Ozpine Technologies at buyraspberrypi.com.au. Let's first take a look at the parts for this shield. We have 5 tact switches, a potentiometer, a small rubber pad, an IC, 3 resistors, the LCD module itself, header pins, a PCB, a strip of header pins. Okay, so let's begin the assembly by trimming down the strip of header pins to size. Then solder them to one side of the LCD module. We can then solder the LCD module onto the blank PCB. Your board should then look like this. We can then solder the two 220 ohm resistors into the places labelled red and blue. Then solder the 330 ohm resistor into the space labelled green. Now with our 3 resistors soldered in place, we can then insert and solder our 5 tact switches in place. Now we can solder in place our female header pin socket. With the socket soldered in place, we can then insert our contrast variable resistor. Now we can solder in place the IC, making sure that you align the notch on the IC with the notch marked on the board. We can then go ahead and attach our rubber stopper onto the board. After mounting the LCD shield onto the Raspberry Pi's GPIO pins, we can then begin the setup process. After powering up our Pi and connecting it to a network, we can then log in and enter this command. Then add the bottom 2 lines of this file. We can then save and exit out of that file with Ctrl+X and run the sudo reboot command to reboot your Raspberry Pi. We can then log back into our Raspberry Pi and install the following Python packages. Once complete, we can then install the I2C tools with this command. We can then run this command to detect if our LCD plate was connected correctly. We can then install Git with this command. Then download the following item from GitHub. We can then enter the Adafruit Raspberry Pi directory with this command, and then enter the character LCD plate directory with this command. Then install the following 2 packages with these commands. We can then run the test Python script with this command. Now let's test out another example Python script.